can I say all? But
Thank you. This is not staged. Thank you very much. Hello everyone. This is Jin from Good Korean and I'm with
Lucas.
Lucas, can you introduce yourself first?
Sure. So my name's Lucas. I'm from Sydney, Australia. I am 26 years old. And then my job, I work as a customer manager in a IT finance company.
So fancy.
Yeah.
This is our Good Korean office and I'm very happy for Lucas to visit here. He travels so often and come to Korea often. So I thought this is a great opportunity to talk to one of our students who is learning Korean with Good Korean. First of all, let's talk about the Korean language. Why did you start learning Korean?
The reason why I wanted to start learning Korean is because I think it was like I just wanted to learn a second language and I didn't know which one. I was thinking either maybe Japanese or Korean, definitely somewhere in Asia. But I think Korean is where I was more leaning towards because I have a few Korean friends here in Australia and in Korea compared to Japanese friends. So I thought maybe that's the best next move for learning something. And it was a hobby that I wanted to pick up for my life. And I'm interested in just travel overall, especially Asia travel. So I thought Korea was the best choice for me in terms of choosing the next language. So that was pretty much why I wanted to start doing that. And also maybe in the future it could be somewhere I can use for a job opportunity.
That's cool.
Be content creating, something like that. So I thought that was something that I'll be very interested in with learning Korean.
You said you have a few Korean friends back in Australia and in Korea. So do you communicate with them regularly?
In Korean?
In Korean
Or
or
just-
in English?
Oh yeah. In Australia, I basically have some friends there in Australia that are Korean, and yeah, we do keep in contact. We try to like be playful with the Korean, not like be serious and all, but at least I listen into their conversations. I have maybe a group of 2 or 3 friends that are Korean and I hang out with them, and then sometimes they speak in Korean. I might not be involved as much, but at least I would
So sometimes you're the only one
that's
Aussie
Aussie
in the Korean group. That's cool.
Yeah, so it's quite cool. Sometimes we eat Korean food or any type of food, and then we usually just communicate in English and maybe Korean. They sometimes tease on me sometimes as
Do
well, trying to test me and all of that with Korean. And then they also teach me words here and there. So that's quite fun, I think, it's like being able to communicate. And I think that gives us more that sense of closeness as well, being more connected through language. I think that's something that's quite of an eye-opener, or something that brought us more closer together through language and culture through learning Korean. I think that also grew stronger bonds with friendships as well.
That's cool. So how long have you been learning Korean? Since you're at the moment learning with Good Korean, I wonder if you ever tried any other Korean learning services or you study by yourself. How did you start learning Korean in the beginning?
When I was first interested in learning the Korean language, I definitely first started off with just actual textbooks itself. And that was like, I think, a bit of a difficult task for me, just because in general, like myself, I don't like reading as much or reading long books of anything, even stories, anything paper. I think it was just too hard for me to just continue by myself because there's no motivation for me to keep on going. And I also did through apps as well, through Korean learning apps, and also actually through apps called Hello Talk, language exchange app. So that was actually quite fun. That's how I made some of my friends as well through Korea. But that's not a way to actually commit to learning as well in that sense. It's more to grow a sense of getting some friends here and there. I think those were the ways that I did at the beginning before I found Good Job Korean.
Oh, that's great. So you used some textbooks and apps and you find some Korean in Hello Talk. That's the method that work for some people. And also, it must have helped you in some part of your Korean learning journey. That's cool. Since you've been learning Korean, what is the most difficult part of learning Korean?
Oh, Korean, you would think at first it's easy because of the Hangul. It's actually easy to learn initially compared to maybe other languages like Chinese, for example. But I think the most difficult part is definitely, for me, memorization of grammar itself. I think that's where it's a bit difficult to piece it all together because it's definitely a switch on English, like English as a language. So that's a bit hard, I think, for me specifically. I don't know. I think like that and just like memorization. I think there's a lot of words. Just like in English, Korean's also a bit hard. Just like with any language, just trying to pick up words and memorizing them and trying to use it on a daily basis. It's like you're putting a second dictionary in your head. So that's always a tough challenge in general. But I think you just have to keep the consistency.
That's
and
true.
keep learning. I think that's the main point, to be able to
Retain.
that knowledge, just like with a job as well. So it's like you learn a skill, you have to go into get better at it and then keep improving.
Thank you. Okay, now let's talk about Good Job Korean. What part of Good Job Korean course do you enjoy the most? Since we offer many different learning material, learning videos and challenges, homework, feedback, what kind of Good Job Korean course did you enjoy the most? And you're still learning, do you enjoy the most?
Of course. Can I say all? But
Thank you. This is not staged. Thank you very much.
yes. But no, I think it's like the interactivity of Good Job Korean as a whole. Definitely videos, because I'm definitely someone who likes watching videos compared to reading. I think that's something that helps me along the way because it's more engaging. You're always looking forward to the next video because it's something new, something different. So that's something that I enjoy, especially the sogaeting, the blind dates as well. It's a bit of a unique way of learning compared to just traditional teacher to student type of videos.
Yeah.
So have a good mix. So that's pretty good. And also just like having the group, like Zoom groups with our classes that we have with Good Job Korean. So that's quite good to have that with the community that you have and being able to study with a group of all international friends over there. So that's quite fun. And of course the teachers as well. They keep you on track and they're very engaging on the videos as well. And having that homework as well. Keeping that consistency on a daily basis, having homework every day. I think that's something that I need. You can say homework is never enjoyable in general, anywhere. That's a way of you being engaged in Korean and you're always learning and keep on growing. I think that's needed in general. So I appreciate the course itself, yes.
Just for those who don't know the Good Job Korean, the blind date things is our course is created with a certain entertaining video where one boy and one girl have a blind date that is not staged. They naturally have conversation. So we pick up some grammar point and expression from that video. We break it down and focus on certain grammar point for each video lesson. So that's how make course more engaging. And as for homework, as he said, I'm kind of the homework enforcement.
Homework police.
Yeah, homework police. I just keep them on track.
Yes.
And if they are a bit behind, I always send a message and bother. He's one of the students who is bothered the most sometimes.
I'm not the only one.
Yeah, not the only one. You were good. Yeah.
I have a full-time job, please.
Yeah. You're good. It was a good one. How has your life changed after learning Korean with JJK? Since you traveling a lot in the traveling part, or you have Korean friends, and since you also enjoy some Korean related content, music, and the drama, can you share your stories about it?
So I think it's like through learning Korean, I think it just, as I said, brought more of a closeness with all of my Korean friends here in Korea and also in Australia. I'm able to be a bit more close with them. And then I think making friends in Korea, I think that's quite unique because they're also trying to learn English at the same time or communicate with you and be a bit more better in their language. So I think that's bringing the connection with speaking English and Korean with each other. I think that's a great thing to have and like being friends in that sense of way. But also, you're also connecting with others that walks in their own journeys in Korea or Australia, and you being able to learn their path itself, and then you're able to even create better connections like they live in all different parts of Korea, and that also allows me to travel to different parts of Korea as well. So like, for example, some of my friends live in Seoul, some friends live in Busan, some in Jeonju,
Oh.
Gwangju, everywhere. So that's quite unique and fun. I think just being able to not even from a traveling perspective, you can travel not just to the main cities, but you can also go to the cities that are not as touristy as well. So that's also a good part if you love traveling and making friends. That's something fun that you can always do. And they also, once they've grown as a person, they've also maybe opened businesses or have their own job opportunities, and you can learn from them in terms of on a social aspect. So you learn from them and how they're growing, and then that kind of applies to your own life. And I think that's something unique that you don't get personally, maybe as an Australian. I think just that sense of being friends with international people outside of your own country is quite unique and fun. Anywhere in the world. So definitely through learning Korean as a language is opens those gates in terms of that.
That's cool. I can see the friend of yours is pretty big part of your Korean learning journey. And I was pretty impressed when you say having a Korean native friend who especially living in Korea gives you opportunity to visit their city that possibly you might not visit if you don't have them. That's really good part because Korea has many beautiful cities, but I think only few Korean cities are known for them and other cities are a little bit underrated, but you might feel a bit fear to visit those cities when you don't have anyone to meet and guide you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
But once you have more Korean friends there, you could have Korean friends since you speak the language. That really gives you and enrich your Korean traveling as well.
Of course. I think that's something unique, rare to have as well. So making friends in all parts of Korea is definitely something fun. Most of them I found through teletalk or through connecting with others in general. So I think that's quite fun. And I think like even friends like in the main areas like Seoul and Busan, for example, at least they can be your guide to finding local hidden gems or even things that non-touristy people would go to. I think that's also something quite fun and unique compared to going to maybe the touristy spots or touristy restaurants. I think that's where you can find a bit more local restaurants or cafes.
Yeah, that's cool. Since you've been staying in Korea a few days up to now, right?
Yeah.
What about this travel? Did you do anything unique this time, or what is the most memorable thing?
I think the most, it's been a few days now, actually like a fun spot I think I just went to yesterday was 해방촌?
해방촌? Yeah.
Yeah, near Itaewon.
Itaewon?
Yeah, so
Sorry, I never been there. Yeah, so very unique.
So I went there just because I found it through TikTok and Instagram. It's a very popular, trendy spot that's not many tourists. No, there was not many tourists around, but a lot of local Korean people going there. Very hot place for couples and a group of friends to go there. Very young people over there. There's a lot of cafes set up over there, very trendy. And there's also bar setups as well. So it's not just Korean food, but definitely international type of food. So I think it's like Itaewon 2.0, I guess. But it's very a chill spot, I guess, for locals. I recommend even for you to
that's
go.
Cool. Good, I should visit.
Yeah, so I think that's a fun thing I just did recently.
So it's nearby Itaewon.
Yes.
Okay.
It's quite in like a hilly area, so you might have to go by bus, or if you can walk it. I did walk at the beginning of the trip, but then I was so tired. It's very hilly, but yes, definitely go. I think that's a good place to.
That's great.
Anything else? Actually, I went with a friend, Jjimjilbang.
Oh, was it
Yes.
your first time?
In Korea, so
Okay.
yes, Jjimjilbang is very different. We don't have that in Australia. I think maybe even in America, they don't have that too.
No.
It's quite unique, I think.
Very unique.
Very unique.
Yeah.
It's quite similar to like Japan, like with onsens there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like an indoor like spa. Yeah. Yes, so that's very interesting.
Did you eat some shike and is the boiled egg there?
No,
No.
so the one I went to is not the one that you can do that type of activities. It's like only the spa one.
Only the spot. If
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
not even how can you the steam
Not
room?
yeah. There's this like sauna room
Yeah,
and
sauna.
steam room,
Yeah.
but there's no like food area there.
Okay.
So I think that was more of a local place that my friend took me.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, there are ones that are a bit more bigger and have that space where you can have
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the eggs and the ramen, like that type of food.
That's good. All right, we are getting into the last question. Any tips or advice for other Korean learners who are just starting out?
Definitely keeping that consistency with learning Korean. I think that's very important with any sort of language learning journey. Is definitely you have to make sure you're learning. It doesn't need to be daily for sure, but definitely keep it consistent at least 3 times a week to keep learning the language, keep memorizing different phrases, words, and even like especially if you're coming to Korea or interested in Korean culture, I think starting the Korean journey is very important to at least being able to communicate in Korea if you're traveling here, especially if you're going to a cafe or a restaurant, at least knowing those basic phrases, especially going to local places where English might not be present. So that's definitely a good thing to learn, and reading Hangul. So Good Job Korean definitely offers that. Yeah, and I think that's something you need to do as a student of Korean language. Yeah, just in terms of learning, I think that's keeping that consistency. I think also maybe a unique tip is if you're someone like me who doesn't like reading, having some sort of like digital means, like a digital way of learning is quite cool through videos. But for me, I use my iPad to learn, basically to write, and it saves your information more better compared to handwritten notes for me. So I use this app called Notability.
Oh, yeah, I
yeah.
know, the memo app.
Which is quite cool because once you write stuff in English or Korean, and especially through the videos, you can search the specific word that you've written down on a note itself.
Even if you write down on your handwriting,
yeah,
it'll
pick
find
it
out.
up. Yes,
Okay,
it'll
that's
try to read it. I think it's like maybe through AI or something, but it's quite cool. So if you're trying to think of a word that you've done in the past or learned something in one of the lessons, you can easily pick it up and search which note you've found it out and search which part of that note it's from. So if you ever need to get back into something or trying to remember a certain lesson, that's where you can utilize the iPad for. So yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. There are many great tools you can take advantage of if you're not afraid of digital devices.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a great
Yes.
app. And also he mentioned the consistency is the key. I think consistency is very important in basically every area.
Yeah.
However, language learning, especially retaining, is very hard. Keep on track, and as he advised, learning 3 times a week is very, very crucial. So yeah, just keep consistent.
Yes. For sure.
So I think he introduced many different tips. Thank you for it.
Yes.
And this is it for our interview. Thank you and bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
See you later.
See you later.